Hello, YouTube. It's Hobo Mackie. Um, so, just wanted to kind of give y'all a glimpse of what evening is like, especially a rainy evening. It's raining out, and it's been raining all day. It's supposed to rain today and tomorrow. Um, don't like the rain. Not. I don't like rain. Kind of forces me to sit in. I can't go do much. I was planning. I would be bicycling right now out north. I intend to head towards Central Florida. Um, I have a bicycle ride in mind, but with the rain coming, I don't have a poncho. I don't have an umbrella. I don't have much. I don't have any rain gear. So if I know the rain's coming, I'm just kind of chill around town. I'm in Bradenton, Florida still, and but I kind of want to give y'all a glimpse of how I would handle the rain. Um, I pretty much spent the majority of the day at Burger King today. Just I get online, I got YouTube. I like comedy. I like sports, and I follow a bunch of different kinds of things. Um, and I'll still do a little bit of stuff. I don't mind getting out in the drizzle or whatever. And I talk to my family every Tuesday. So tonight I talked to my family, um, and we got done talking about 8 o'clock, and it's raining, and it was dark, and I could have stayed right where I was at. Right there at that Burger King, there's a little shopping center, and I could have just slept underneath some shelter there, but it was like well lit, and they had this little music playing over the speakers, and I would be more exposed there. Like you could clearly see somebody sleeping there. There were a bunch of homeless in the area, um, and the homeless will potentially come up and steal your shit when you're sleeping. I have had it. I have had a guy come up to me once in Fort Myers, Florida, where I wake up and I could hear him walking, and I woke up, and this guy, he was there. He was kind of just staring at me. And I could tell he was kind of thinking about stealing my bag, or at least checking me out or whatever. And but I think he knew that I was awake because I probably stopped snoring, and and he just kind of walked away. But I could tell that it felt real creepy, and a lot of homeless are on drugs, and those are the ones you got to watch out for. I think most people are good people, and I think even the people that the bad people are on drugs, and it's the drugs that are, I think they're good people, but the drugs cause them to do bad things, or to become bad people, basically. And that's just fact of life. So don't do the hard drugs, people. So yeah, I could have stayed there, but there was a park 2 miles down the road, about 10-minute bike ride. I knew it had a shelter with the picnic tables and stuff underneath it, and I would have felt more comfortable there. So I tried to go to that park, but I ended up passing it. And the rain was started coming down pretty good while I was riding, and I ended up getting soaking wet. But there's this other park. I'm actually at a ballpark here, and I'm actually under a dugout. So, like a baseball field dugout, and that's what I'm using for my shelter tonight. Um, so I passed the park that I intended to go to. I ended up getting here, and I'm soaking wet. My sweater was wet. My pants are wet. So I took those off, and I changed into some nice dry t-shirt and shorts. It's really the only other option I have. My blanket is nice and dry. So I should be okay for the first part of the night. And at the coldest part of the night, I might end up getting cold. You know, this kind of lifestyle is not always comfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable sometimes, and you got to learn to deal with it. It's actually good for you to have a little discomfort. And I'm pretty good at handling it. Um, I got my clothes hanging up and drying, so I'm thinking maybe, um, when that time comes and I get cold, that maybe I'll think about putting those clothes back on. Um, it'll probably get down to between like 60 and 65, but when you're wet, that really amplifies. And I don't have much insulation. I don't have a sleeping bag. All I have is one blanket, and yeah, I might get cold. I might not. Maybe this blanket will surprise me, and I'll stay plenty warm. Hopefully, that's the case. One strategy for me is just to get up in the middle of the night and just ride out the coldest part by maybe go and do something or get active, and then go back to sleep when it gets warmer. That's probably not the best option, being that I'm at a park right now, but it's okay. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of share how I would handle the rain when I don't have a place to go to. Um, you just kind of find a shelter somewhere. Dugout's good enough, um, and totally dry right here. I did get wet, like I said. I guess I'll share how I sleep at night. I have a bivy bag. It's a U.S. military Army bivy bag issue, Gore-Tex. It zips up, so just imagine a body bag, and it zips all the way up, and it's Gore-Tex, so it's breathable. Um, your body perspiration supposedly can leave the bag, and it supposedly will keep you dry. But with Gore-Tex, one thing is that it doesn't work when it's dirty for some reason. So it's not perfect in the rain. I don't like to. You can just sit out in the rain. I can just literally go out in the rain, zip myself all the way up into the Gore-Tex bag, and that's the whole idea of it. And I think it works well with snow. But with rain, and if it's clean, it'll work pretty good with the rain. Or if you got a nice sleeping bag, then the rain really won't. You'll get a little wet, but you're still going to stay warm because of the sleeping bag. But the point is that the Gore-Tex doesn't work 100%, and you will get a little wet. I used to have a down sleeping bag, and you really want to keep those dry. Whenever it would rain, it would get a little bit. It would get wet, and I would lose a little bit of insulation. I did have a 0-degree down sleeping bag, so normally I was totally fine. It still would keep me plenty warm. I would have to zip it all the way up, maybe the sleeping bag and the bivy bag, and I would stay warm. But I still prefer to be under a shelter. The bivy bag, it's more just protection for me from the bugs. It gives me a layer. It's actually, I can zip it up, and it's a layer of warmth. I could consider getting rid of it, but especially with the bugs, when I zip it all the way up, and I have a bug net right here. This is a bug net that I salvaged off an Ozark Trail tent. So I zip the bivy bag all the way up, so that it's just like a little hole where my head is, and then I throw the bug net over that hole, and then I kind of sleep on my side and just breathe out the side. Um, then I have a blanket. It's just like a child's blanket that I found. It actually has been working pretty good and keeping me warm. So I throw that over the bivy bag, and I got this little plastic bag that I just stuffed full of my extra socks or clothes. My tarp is in here, and this is my pillow for the night. I throw anything I can find that's nice and soft into a bag, and it's nice to have a pillow because you don't want to sleep like this. I like to have something to prop my head up on. So I put the pillow there. I'll throw the bug net over my head. I usually watch some sort of TV show or whatever on my computer or YouTube. So I'll throw the bug net over the computer and I'll watch the show until I'm ready to go to sleep, and then I'll go to sleep. I'll throw my pack on top of the bug net so it kind of holds it down. Guess y'all can't see it, but yeah, I just throw my pack on top of the bug net on the edge of it, and then I can just throw the bug net over my head, and that's been working pretty good. And that's how I sleep. And I sleep good like this. Part of sleeping good is getting used to it. If you feel like you have to have a comfortable bed, I would advise that you don't have to. I don't really know everybody. I don't know your situations, but it's just a matter of adjusting and getting used to it. I was addicted to a regular mattress as well, and I just started sleeping on the floor to get myself used to it. And if you don't sleep the first night on the floor, I promise you'll sleep the second night. If you literally go the whole night without sleeping, and then yeah, it sucks, and the next day you'll be delirious from no sleep. But you go that whole day, and then the next day you sleep on the floor again, you'll go to sleep. And really, I felt like took about a few months for me to get totally to the point that not only was I used to sleeping on the ground, I then preferred it, and I prefer it now. It's actually better for your back, and I hate soft mattresses for sure. I can sleep on a firm mattress, but I prefer not to. I don't ever I don't ever want to get used to sleeping on a mattress again. I sleep great as is. Right now, I'm on total concrete. The dugout floor is total hard concrete, which is actually a little harder than I like. I like to be on the like a grass, but it's not a bad thing. And I might maybe I won't sleep as good tonight because I'm on concrete, but it's actually a good thing, and then it's something that'll toughen me up. You know. So what else? Yeah, that's pretty much my sleep situation every night. That's my minimalist way of sleeping. I don't do a tent. Sure, it'd be nice to have a tent. I could put that anywhere. I wouldn't have to go to a baseball dugout. I do have a little tarp, but it's got a little hole in it. It's not very big, so basically it covers about half of me, and then my feet hang out into the rain. So my feet usually end up getting a little wet, but what I can do is kind of crawl into the fetal position and sleep. But if I have a shelter, I'm going to use the shelter. The tarp is more for when I'm not around this town or city. Like I plan to do a bicycle ride north, and it's going to be a real rural area. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of anything, which is kind of what I wanted. Just go somewhere middle of Florida, just check it out. I mean, that's what I do. I like to check random shit out. I think the whole state of Florida is beautiful. I think pretty much the whole country is beautiful, except for a few areas. Maybe places where it's like straight cornfields and stuff. So like Indiana or Iowa or Kansas. But I'm sure there's beautiful parts of all those places as well. I can definitely think of Kansas. There's a few nice places there for sure. I just haven't really been to any other places. But yeah, most of the whole country is beautiful. I like checking everything out. Well, I feel like I'm just rambling on now. Yeah, I basically just wanted to make this video to kind of show you how I handle the rain. The rain's one of the downsides to my lifestyle. It forces me sometimes to stay in. I've stayed out in Oregon before during the rainy season, and it was awful. It was depressing. It rained literally every single day for months. It's beautiful, and the rain's just kind of usually a drizzle, and the people there are used to it. But it's depressing to not have the sun once in a while. I love the sun. I love getting that vitamin D, and there's something depressing about it. Mosquitoes getting bad right now, but I won't do that again. I will never go to Oregon in the rainy season. Now during the summer, it's beautiful as long as it's not smoky and fire. A lot of forest fires. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places I've been to. So yeah, it's nice in the summer, but don't go in the winter. Um, but yeah, Florida's been. I can't complain. It's been mostly all sunny and like low 80s every single day, and just that's just perfect. Um, it's supposed to rain today and tomorrow, and I can't complain. I don't mind a rainy day once in a while. You got to have the rain. You got to have it. That's how this place stays green. That's how it's got so much wildlife. Um, Definitely got a lot of mosquitoes too, and actually the area I'm in right now is just dotted with. I was looking at the map; it's just dotted with ponds and lakes. Everywhere you go, you could throw a stone and hit water around here in this particular spot. So the mosquitoes are ferocious here. I've been getting tore up. Um, you see, like right there. I don't even know if that's a mosquito bite or not. I think it is, or it might be a pimple. But I've been getting tore up in my forehead because sometimes my mosquito net, I'll like roll over the wrong way, and the mosquito net would be laying right on my forehead, and the mosquitoes can sting right through that, and I'll all of a sudden start getting tagged all over my forehead. I can actually handle a few mosquito bites, but yeah, when I start getting really tagged a lot, then I wake up and then I have to readjust. Usually, I put my bivy bag over my head like this, and then I have the bug net here where it's not touching me, and I'm breathing up the side. Um, it's not ideal. I prefer to have no mosquitoes. Mosquitoes suck. What do you know? I wish they could just like eradicate them. I don't usually wish for that kind of thing. I'm actually a nature person. I like nature, but I mean, do we need these things? You know, are they gonna fuck up the ecosystem if we eradicated them? Because they suck. I hate them. But actually, you get used to it after a while too. Um, so, all right. Like I said, yeah, just showing you how I would handle the rain, and then I guess I'm showing you how I sleep. And handling rain is just being resourceful and creative. I've never slept in a dugout before, um, but hey, it's a first for everything. It wasn't my intention to sleep in a dugout, but apparently I missed the park I was shooting for, and then I just ran up to this park, and at least I'll be dry. I won't be wet, and I ought to go to sleep sooner rather than later because, like I said, middle of the night I'm probably gonna end up waking up. I think I'm gonna end up getting cold. Maybe my clothes will possibly be dry. They're not cotton, so maybe there's a chance that they'll be dry. I highly doubt it. My pants are kind of like windbreaker type pants, so they dry super fast. And then my hoodie is polyester of some kind, and it'll probably still be a little bit wet. But maybe even when being wet, it should still provide some warmth. So maybe I can throw them on, get back into my baby bag, throw over my blanket, and then maybe I'll be warm enough to sleep. If not, then I'll just get up in the middle of the night and do push-ups and jumping jacks, and then maybe it won't be raining, and I can go for a bike ride or something, and go back to sleep whenever. I think that's actually a natural way to live. I think it's natural for humans to wake up in the coldest part of the night and do stuff, and then go back to sleep. I think that was probably a natural way of living for a long time. Um, you know, through evolution or whatever. I'm not totally certain about that, but I've heard that before anyway. And I do it sometimes. If I'm cold, I'm not going to just sit there and shiver in the fetal position. I'm going to get up and do something about it. Alrighty, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you posted. Peace out.